Tell me why you're out here and hurricane coming. Watch there. Sandbags. Sandbags.
So what is it like to sit here in Jamaica waiting for days for a storm that you hear is going to bring crosses and catastrophe and disaster? I'm Dion Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're safe wherever you are. It's time for tea.
Morning, folks. It's Sunday, October 26th, 2025. Went to bed with Melissa as a category 3. Woke up to hear category 4. You can see the clouds there. This is the National Stadium, National Arena. We've had light drizzle throughout the night here in Kingston. Nothing heavy. And right now it's not even raining. But of course, we still know what we're looking out for.
So Melissa has been on her way to Jamaica now for 3 days, and I went onto the road to show you a little bit of what's going on.
Tell me why you're out here and hurricane coming.
Hurricane coming, me still have to find food. I have 2 children, one doing and one not doing. The one that is doing, she have too much on her plate. So I have to try it myself.
But rain start fall. Anybody selling the paper themselves?
Well, right now I sell 4 cleaners since I come out here and 3 observer.
So how you say, you ready for the hurricane?
Well, no, Can me just say anything is anything.
What make you say you're not ready?
Why I said already? I'm a one mommy and me alone, as me tell you.
You live by yourself?
Where money is concerned, it is not there. Understand me?
We're here outside the Bustamante Children's Hospital. And you know, one of the things that happens when you have an emergency, a natural disaster like this, is that the hospitals go into emergency mode. Here we have a garbage truck passing, and they really have been picking up garbage up to the last minute, you know, because the last thing you want outside your yard in the middle of a natural disaster is all kinds of garbage. So what does it mean when a hospital goes into emergency mode? It means that first of all, they cancel elective surgeries, which really sucks for all the people who have been waiting months and months to have surgery, sometimes longer than months. But, you know, that's the hospital policy. And of course, you can understand. The other thing is that they restrict visits, which kind of sucks again if you have, say, friends in the hospital, because the number of visitors or the type of visitors are going to be restricted to the most essential. So again, something that's really not wonderful, but again, you kind of have to understand what is going on. So all the more reason why we're hoping this situation does not last for very long.
Now, once you're from Jamaica, the Caribbean, certain other parts of the world that tend to get hurricanes, you know how it go. The official hurricane season runs from June 1 to the end of November. So in about May, the forecast for the season will come out, and you can get a little bit jittery if you hear it's going to be an active season. The reality, though, is that active or not active, really and truly, you know, it only takes one. So right here in Jamaica now, we're hoping and praying that Melissa is not that one. So let me try and explain what it's been like here in Jamaica for the past few days, right? So I started to hear about this system that could be affecting Jamaica, right? And then you start to watch, you start to monitor. Then you hear it's a tropical storm named Melissa, so you seriously start to take interest now. A lot of times, truth is, these systems form, they look as if they could be coming our way, and then they veer away. They change course, and we're spared. So you remember Hurricane Gilbert? All right, you knew I had to touch Gilbert, all right, at least for a little bit. Hurricane Gilbert hit Jamaica September 12, 1988. And the truth is, everybody who didn't know themselves during that time will always remember Gilbert because of what we went through. And the kids who were born after Gilbert, ears can't eat grass, because they tell us all they can hear about is Gilbert, Gilbert, Gilbert. As I said, that's because of how badly it affected us during as well as after. But why do you think Gilbert caught so many Jamaicans off guard? It's because we had so many near misses. We had so many times when we heard hurricanes were headed for Jamaica, were going to hit Jamaica, and then at the last minute or earlier, they would just change course. So it's as if we reach a stage where we never believe a hurricane would have hit we at all. You know, the night before Gilbert, people were out partying, right? Think about that a little bit in terms of what we know now. And it's kind of hard to believe, given everything we've seen over the past few years, that we actually didn't seriously think a hurricane was going to hit us. So we've had, for instance, Sandy, we've had Ivan, we've had Maria, and of course 2024, we had Beryl. So yeah, best believe we take storm seriously now, right? And when you hear young people saying, which I do sometimes, boy, they've never seen a hurricane, it would be exciting to see a hurricane. Well, that was before Beryl. The only thing you could have drawn for is the old Jamaican proverb, was a young but no storm. Which means young people don't know adversity, because a lot of what storms and hurricanes bring is real adversity, which is why so many of us are very nervous right now.
Okay, folks, we're in New Kingston now, and you can see boarding up is taking place or has taken place. Everywhere board up, watch it. All the banks, all the fast food places, and of course, still, look at the sky. GPS across the way, well board up. Still have people on the streets. Well, I'm on the streets, watching the sky though, everybody watching the sky. Wow. Summit is taking no chances. Watch there. Sandbags. Let's get in a little closer and look at those sandbags. Well, I think we can safely assume that this gas station is closed for business. What do you think?
Hurricanes sound a lot more exciting than they are, right? Sounds exciting, but there's a lot that goes with it. So for instance, a lot of Jamaican houses have zinc roof, right? And yes, they may have hurricane straps, but the reality is you're always going to have to be hoping those straps hold, hoping the zinc not fly off, because when them breeze take the roof, you don't know what's going to happen. Then now, during the storm itself, because TV will go down, radio is not going to go down. A lot of people will be listening to the radio, calling into the radio. I'll be on radio a lot during these storms. You know, I've done a lot of coverage, and sometimes you get some heart-rending calls. You hear about people in real trouble during the storm at a time when first responders cannot go out and help because they're putting themselves at risk as well. You hear about trees falling on houses. You hear about people, you know, actually dealing with landslides, concern about people being washed away, or concerns about homes being flooded at a time when people can't do anything to help. And then, of course, you have the aftermath where you have to deal with, for instance, the cleanup, the economic costs. You know, you don't get a ripe banana for about 4 months. Okay, that sounds frivolous, but it actually is one of the things that happen after we have a storm. You hope that there are no lives lost. People who have been flooded have to deal with cleanup as well. And of course, being without light and water, some cases for hours or days, in some cases for months. Look, nothing can compare to Gilbert when we were without light for 4 months, right? But during Hurricane Beryl, or after Hurricane Beryl in 2024, you had Jamaicans who were without light for weeks. And nowadays, even a day, even a couple of hours without light is an inconvenience. So imagine being without light for weeks. So when you hear a storm coming, when you hear a hurricane coming, you're having those kinds of thoughts in the back of your mind. Are we going to have to be dealing with all of this inconvenience or worse? The thing is, you know, this season started very quiet, you know. Nothing ever go on. I mean, nada, zilch, zero activity. And June passed, July passed, August passed, September passed. So we started to get, I guess you start to settle down a little bit because you're like, okay, we're coming to the end of the hurricane season, but you can never relax. Here's how one writer put it. For 142 very pleasant days of the 2025 hurricane season, the waters of the Caribbean Sea were still. All the storms that mattered this year formed to the north or east and then turned north in an orderly fashion towards Bermuda. Sorry, Bermuda, no disrespect. I have friends with relatives there, so I know me write this. And it was good, the writer went on, but on the 143rd day, Tropical Storm Melissa moved over the waters, and Melissa unfortunately looks to make up for lost time, posing a serious and historic threat of major hurricane impacts on Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas. So the thing is, we're hearing about Melissa now, and the first thing we heard was that we could expect heavy rains by Thursday. So schools closed because you can't put kids and teachers at risk, And the worst part about the kind of rain we get in Jamaica, you can leave your yard, but then when you're ready to come home, you can't reach home. We've had some really heartbreaking stories of kids who've been washed away in flood waters trying to get home from school. So absolutely the right decision on the part of the Ministry of Education to close schools, whether Melissa did come or not. And of course, everywhere, cleaning of drains, cleaning of gullies, everywhere you look. Government spending money, drain cleaning on in a last-minute desperate attempt to reduce flooding. I'm saying reduce, not prevent flooding, because I think we know by now, right, that our drains can't handle this whole heap of water. We're going to have flooding. We're just hoping it can be minimized. And another day we talk about the state of our drains and gullies and why we have this whole heap of cleaning every time you hear a storm is coming. Now, I've covered some terrible stories over the years, right, of houses sliding into gullies because of flood rains, other types of damage from storms and floods as well. So like you, I'm just here hoping and praying for the best, all right? Anyway, all of the drain cleaners and the heavy duty equipment people and so on had time to work because Melissa never come Thursday, never come Friday. I could have did wash. Well, this though was an absolute boon to the last minute people, the procrastinators. Put up your hand, you know yourself, who are running up and down, buying all the stuff last minute, right? Buying bread, buying flashlights, buying bread, buying tarpaulin, buying bread. Trust me, bread and hurricane go together like horse and carriage. And in the meantime, while we expected Melissa to come Thursday, we expected Melissa to come Friday, this thing has been crawling towards us. When I say crawling, I mean the meteorologists have been telling us 2 kilometers per hour crawling. I can't run fast, and I think I run faster than that. And when you look at the words that we're hearing, when you look at the coverage, the news coverage, right? We're hearing words like catastrophic flood danger. We're hearing about the rains and the flooding it's already causing Santo Domingo, death in Haiti, slow motion disaster. Melissa may reach category 5, poses great danger to Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti. And all you can do here is wait. Well, that would be wait after you limb the trees, after you fill up the tank with gas, after you get some cash. You buy batteries, you buy flashlight, you buy corned beef. Don't cut your eye after my corned beef. It might fill a gap, it might save a life. You charge up your phone. Nowadays we have power banks as well. Thank goodness for those. Charge up your power bank as well. You buy water, you catch up water. What else? Have I left out anything? Tell me what else you do in terms of hurricane prep, all right? But really and truly, you're doing all of this while you're worried, very, very worried about what is to come, because we've had a lot of rain recently. So we know the ground is saturated. We know there's going to be flooding, and the projections, honestly, are awful, because once you start to hear about catastrophic rains, then you're talking now about hillsides coming down. You're talking about people's house being flooded depending on where they live. You're talking about a lot of human and social disaster. All we can do is hope for the very, very best, hope that is minimized, and hope even at this point that Melissa changes course. Not to go lick nobody else though, find some open water to go out in, all right? All right, so tell me how it is where you are, how much attention you're paying to this, how you're monitoring it, how you're feeling watching this thing crawling towards Jamaica. All right, so I'm going to leave it there. So comment below, tell me how it is you are managing with this storm, right? How are you doing prep? If you're not here, what do you feel like watching the satellite photos and images and videos of this thing crawling towards Jamaica? Tell me what you feel in the comments. Remember, keep it civil, all right? Like the video, share it with somebody who might be interested, and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. Thank you all so very much. I'm Dion. Back to my tea.